Okay, thank you so much. Today's topic, we are going to be talking about the new databases that we recently subscribed, Access Engineering Case Studies Online, and I'll also highlight some tips in using Engineering Village. Um, s- at Drexel Libraries, we provide access to a number of tools, and I have links to these resources right here on this slide: Access Engineering, Engineering Case Studies Online, and Engineering Village. And these are very specific resources, and it is very important that our students and faculty learn how to use them. And I'm going to highlight some simple tips here, but there are a lot of video tutorials also available that I'm going to also include them in my slides. Um, we have students working on the undergraduate design projects. We have students working on the interdisciplinary projects in connecting various disciplines. So it becomes important for them to understand the background information as they delve into a more in-depth research. So these resources that I'm going to highlight today is going to really help them to understand the fundamentals. So we have electronic handbooks, encyclopedias, journal articles, as we know. So we're going to cover Access Engineering, Engineering Case Studies Online, and Engineering Village. We have covered novel and other databases in the previous presentation. So we start with our library guides. As we all know, a main library homepage is library.drexel.edu. But within our library page, we have also organized library guides in various subject areas, including business and arts and sciences, physics, and so on, including engineering. So all library guides, you can find them here, but I'm including all engineering library guides here. One particular engineering guide is here. And then also I'm highlighting biomaterials, biomechanics, cardiovascular engineering, neuroengineering, tissue engineering, ultrasound imaging, all those subjects within this one particular specific guide, because the resources highlighted in this particular guide can be used to find all relevant information in all important biomedical engineering areas. And then all library guides are here. So we start with our engineering library guide. If you click on this link, it will take you to main library guide. Within that, you will be able to filter through finding books, electronic books, finding articles, and electronic reference. Novel and many other electronic books are also available here, where you will be able to search for books on Python and MATLAB and other programming languages. But today we are focusing on Access Engineering and Engineering Case Studies Online. We also have access to Access Science that we have covered in previous presentations. So we'll start with Access Engineering. It's a very important collections of electronic books that we now have access to. It has Paris Chemical Engineers Handbook, Mark's Standard Handbook for Mechanical Engineers, Standard Handbook of Electrical Engineers, and many more. Another important part of this is they now have access to Dataviz, interactive data visualization tool to help you understand material properties. And we will cover briefly about it and how to access those tutorials as well. And you can watch engineering solutions in action with hundreds of faculty created videos and so many other things that you can explore. So please go through these tips on what you can do with Access Engineering before going deeper into searching and finding what it has access to. So this, when you click on Access Engineering, this is how you're going to look at the front page. It is an award-winning engineering reference platform for academic students and professionals. You can be able to browse through various subject areas here. Course in the understanding of codes and standards is also available here, but videos and spreadsheets and case studies is also available. And this screenshot tells you what the new ebooks currently available. automatic control systems, electrical circuits, constructions. These are some examples, water, wastewater engineering, and so on. But these are just some few examples here. So you can access everything from this tab here. So you have handbooks, textbooks, code commentary, and so on. Business skills as well. Um, and if I search by different subjects, I have a partial screenshot of this. So you have aerospace engineering, close to 10,000 books, bioengineering, close to 11,000 books, and so on. So business skills, chemical engineering, these are different subject areas highlighted. So I have example of aerospace and bioengineering in today's presentation. So if I look at aerospace area, then you have books like Standard Handbook of for Aerospace Engineers, Aircraft Basic Science, and so on. And you can look at here also that everything 10,000 or so, but there are this many books, there are 47 videos, there are some spreadsheets, and so on. And there is one Dataviz interactive tutorial probably on data visualization that you can do is available here as well. And you can also search by courses, book type, book component, authors, and so on. So here is one example of a chapter from this book, Standard Handbook for Aerospace Engineers, something about drag. I have this question asked by many students who are taking classes in aircraft engineering and design about drag and so on. So this is something very interesting and useful for them. And you can also do the related searches on the right by drag and so on. So students can explore relevant subject areas. Within that, they can download PDF, they can share, and so on. It also gives you tips on how to cite this resource, which is very important because we need to educate our students how to cite reference that they have used, books that they have used, articles that they have used. And one thing I have noticed in the past that our students use books, but they are not citing books or book chapters. So we can see that they have been used through our download statistics. But sometimes when I look at the references they use, they may have websites or they may have a couple of journal articles, but they have not used or cited books. So I'm little concerned about it because they have to use books to understand concepts and fundamentals, and they may have used that information in their project or research papers or even assignments. So here's a bioengineering example, and I have highlighted 3 books here: Cardiovascular Engineering, A Protective Approach, first edition; Stem Cell Technologies, Basics and Applications; Applied Cell and Molecular Biology for Engineers. As you can see, there are many, many books even in bioengineering area that our biomedical engineers should find it very useful within biomedical sciences perspective also, because there's a category for biology within that as well. And we have Access Science collection. So that covers a lot of biology stuff. So using Access Science and Access Engineering, we will cover both science and engineering aspects here. Always refer to what is new in Access Engineering. And last time when I was searching, I captured this screenshot, but I strongly encourage you to look at periodically what is new on Access Engineering. Instructor resources are now available on Access Engineering, and click here for full list of titles with instructor resources available for download. And new solution walkthroughs on Access Engineering, which are created by engineering faculty. Access Engineering new solution workthroughs offer comprehensive step-by-step explanations, not just answers. So you can look at automatic control system, for example, construction planning, direction to the finite element method, water and wastewater engineering. These are just some examples. There are many more walkthrough solutions. And these are some instructor resources available. Following textbooks have instructor resources available to download. So aircraft electricity, aircraft maintenance, for example, automatic control systems, and so on. So there are many more you can explore in that guide. When I captured screenshot earlier, there was one resource, one new book available in just this month, which is about petroleum reservoir modeling and simulation, geology, geostatistics, and performance protection, ethics in civil and structural engineering, professional responsibility, which is a very important concept for even there is information on bioethics available also. Um, Learn Aspen Plus. Many of our chemical engineering students would like to learn Aspen, and building codes and new case studies available as well. And here is one example of exploring material properties using Dataviz. Right from the Access Any homepage, there's a link from where you can click on it to go get access to Dataviz. So here is I'm using explore material properties using Dataviz option. And you will see a green box with Dataviz to tell you that this is something about Dataviz or Dataviz material properties. 3D printing, filament analysis of stress and deflection of beams. Our freshman engineers are taught sometimes in concept of stress and strain, and that concept can be used over a period of years that they are here. There's a whole I was curious what I find about biomaterials and tissue engineering as an example. So I used biomaterials and tissue engineering as a keyword, and my preliminary search finds there's a whole book on biomedical engineering fundamentals, carbon nanotubes, scaffold fabricating tissues, and so on. These are just a couple of examples that I'm highlighting. So definitely a good information for both engineers and biomedical engineers, I think. And here is an example from this particular book, Biomedical Engineering Fundamentals, and different chapters about modeling, biomedical systems, biomedical informatics, biomechanics, heat transfer applications, properties of blood. And that reminds me that I had a question about a student who was asking for how to find properties of blood, and we can be able to use Access Engineering to find this book chapter and explore it. Of course, we have Novel, KNOVEL, collection through our engineering village collection that can be also used. And explore material properties using Dataviz option. And designed for teaching and learning about material properties. Dataviz is an interactive data visualization tool that visually displays property data across more than 200 materials and 65 properties, including cost and so on. So please go through this in detail. There are a lot of tutorials available on how to search Dataviz, and I'm going to highlight that later. It tells you how to launch Dataviz and what other things that you can access using Dataviz. That actually takes you to 10 Dataviz projects for an introduction to material science and engineering course, and material properties Dataviz here. And so it takes me, I try to access that introduction to material science and engineering Dataviz project series. And there are various projects dealing with physical properties, mechanical properties, metals, polymers, composites, ceramics, cost, and so on. So strongly encourage you to explore. Again, this is just an example, but that I'm highlighting in this presentation. I strongly encourage you to do and go dive deeper into this collection for deep understanding of the collection, as well as how to search and what you can do with this, whether as a faculty member, how can you use this course material in your course, or as a student to understand concepts and apply in your own projects and courses later on. And some introduction to material properties using Dataviz. Dataviz project. Students will be able to understand the relative hardness values across materials classification. Students will be able to articulate the difference between the yield strength in tension and comprehension for all material classifications. So just I'm reading a couple of things which gives you brief understanding to students as well, so that they can understand, they can see what they can do with it. Again, there is an option on citing here, what else related searches you can do, and so on. Mechanical properties, material properties, project design, smart materials, and so on. Tension, yield strength. So a lot of things you can do here. And here is where you can explore everything about access engineering. There's a library guide, access engineering library guide. If you just simply click on it, and it has various tabs using access engineering, content by discipline, tutorials on Dataviz material, Dataviz material properties tool, interactive tools, what faculty can do. Please explore this. All the faculty members take advantage of it. And definitions and brief understanding of what access engineering is all about. And searching tips, browsing tips, filtering tips, everything. There's a lot of things on this page. And there are a number of video tutorials here. Access engineering, searching and filtering tutorial. There are many more if you scroll down that page. And here is Dataviz tutorial link under the same library guide. How you can use Dataviz tutorial. There's a video as well here. So please go through and explore this library guide at your convenience. And there are a number of manuals and tutorials also available. Access Engineering Library Guide. Just click on this link here. Quick Start Guide, User Guide, Dataviz User Guide, video tutorials on Dataviz, Access Engineering, Site Overview, Searching and Filtering, and so on. So there's a lot of things available directly to you. Please explore. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask or email me. And next, we will now explore engineering case studies online. And this is a very interesting resource because I wanted our students and faculty to know that there is a whole resource available where you can explore why something fails and what we can learn from those failures. So engineering case studies will dramatically improve teaching and research by providing a single comprehensive source for a wide range of video and text material focusing on engineering failures and successes. At completion, the collection will contain about 250 hours and 50,000 pages of quality documents, accident reports, experiments, visualization, case studies, lectures, interviews from leading engineering institutions around the world. So you can browse through various titles, disciplines, engineering events, organizations, subjects, and so on. So just a screenshot of what different types of case studies available here that you can see. Space Shuttle Challenger disaster, Apollo 13, Big Dig ceiling collapse, Air France Flight 4590, TW Flight 800, Ford Pinto controversy, and so on. So these are just 6 case studies of those failures that students can explore during the course of studies. Here is one example I have used here for Ford Pinto controversy. Designed to be America's next popular subcompact car, the Ford Pinto began rolling off assembly lines in early 1971. Despite having sold nearly 3 million Pintos over a 10 years span, the Ford Motor Company went to great lengths to conceal the vehicle's major design flaws, especially those in the fuel tank. So what happens next is the investigation, the reports, and what you can access here. So photographs and some photograph of a Ford Pinto wreckage site, SketchUp of the Ford Pinto assembly, fuel tank filter sketch, and a lot of the things here. So you need to explore this, and some description, what is involved, and so on. So I'm not going to read all this, but strongly encourage you to explore these case studies. This can be really used in an ethics course, and students can learn about professional values in the process. And when they become engineers, they graduate from Drexel, they are equipped with professional values to succeed in a professional environment or wherever they go. One example I'm using here, this time from civil engineering, beyond failure forensic case studies of civil engineers, big dig cost recovery referral, Dewey square air taken structure, and you can explore by subjects and organization discussed and so on. And why case studies? There's a whole book on it that I'm not going to go through it, but you can read, explore, think, reflect on it at your convenience here. Fluid mechanics, construction, structural analysis, and so on. And engineering case studies, assistant, and search tips. If you click on this link, they have some. There are a number of case studies and videos available that you can find using these tips here. Search tips, reading your results, filtering uh, for examples, or tips on using the video player and audio player and mobile playback, streaming, and how you can share and access. All these tips are here on this page, so please explore that as well. Now, yeah, we will talk about Engineering Village. Um, and Engineering Village is another important resource, which is current research, peer-reviewed articles, conference papers. You can access state-of-the-art developments in engineering, biomedical engineering, all different areas. Even there's a lot of content from physics and chemistry, chemical engineering, and so on. And it goes back to 1894, close to more than 120 years or so research that you can do. So sometimes when we have to look at historical views on how a particular thing evolved from a particular research within engineering or invention, you can really track back using this particular database. We'll use two examples today. First, we'll start with structural health monitoring, and then we'll use brain-computer interface as an example, and particularly look at what kind of publications Drexel authors have published in brain-computer interface, and how do we filter by just Drexel authors. And that you can apply this concept on any research. You can use a keyword and you can filter by, I want all the articles published by Drexel authors. Or if a PhD student who is looking for a postdoctoral research, or faculty members looking for some collaborations with other institutes, universities, they can do it themselves by filtering to that university or institution and identify all the authors in that field. So let's go to Engineering Village now. Again, Engineering Village can be accessed from our library guide on engineering or biomedical engineering that I highlighted earlier. But you go to electronic databases section within that and you'll find Engineering Village. Or you can go to library's homepage, databases by title page, A through Z list, and click on Engineering Village. Strongly encourage you to sign in, create an account. Why? Because Engineering Village, Novel, KNOVEL, Scopus, they are all published by Elsevier, right? So just one account can be used to access Engineering Village, access Scopus, access Novel collection of books. So one place searching for all this fantastic information. Now I'm using structural health monitoring as an example, and you can also add additional fields. So when you click on add search field, you will be able to add some additional fields. You can sort by date or document type, like conference papers, journal articles, and so on. So when I click on search, it pulls up a few articles here. You can see remove duplicates, and you will say you will want to know why remove duplicates, because when you go to main Engineering Village page, it gives you a default option to search within Compendex, Inspec, and Novel, all three together. If I want to search by author affiliation, you want to remove Novel because you won't see author affiliation field otherwise. And remove duplicates means that when I search, it is finding results from both Compendex and Inspec. Now, you want to know what Compendex is about. Compendex is an engineering index database published by Engineering Index, and which is now part of Engineering Village, is now Elsevier production. And Compendex, we used to have a print version of engineering index in our library. It went back to 1894 up until 1990 or so. And then we got online, so we removed that collection, which is now completely online. The Compendex is American database. InSpec is a British database, which is also searchable within Engineering Village. And it also goes back to 100 years and back. It indexes articles like ASME, ASCE, IEEE, American Society of Mechanical Engineers, American Society of Civil Engineers, IEEE, all those papers and many other publishers can be found in Engineering Village. Now we come to the most important part. You can explore, you can see that you can also search by physical property. You can search by various categories like open access, gold open access. You can see how many open access articles are there. 7,383 for the structural health monitoring search. There's a lot of things about open access that we'll do some other time. But here, we want to bring your attention to something called controlled vocabulary. And it tells me that structural health monitoring, condition monitoring, structural engineering, damage detection. And you can apply this to all other subjects. So if you're doing ultrasound imaging, you can do that too. But now I want you to look at view more option. Why? Because you want to refine your searches. When I click on view more, when I click on view more, you will see controlled vocabulary here. Now I can use this vocabulary to refine my search. Many times you find thousands of papers, but I want more relevant papers. So how do I do that? So now I want structural engineering, I want damage detection, I want non-destructive examination, vibrations, or anything you want. I want healthcare, for example. I can do that too, right? So definitely structural health monitoring has health impact, because if the structure is not stable, it crashes. What are the implications for health, right? So you can find those papers as well. And then you click on limit to, and then now I found relevant papers. I just click on find it option, and when I do that, you can see the complete citation. It is from Journal of Non-Destructive Evaluation, published in March 2022. So it's quite recent, and you have proceedings and conference papers as well. And when you click on find it, I can directly go to the full text right from here, download PDF. And when we are teaching students the structure of scholarly paper, it will give us a great example using this paper, that it has an abstract, it is an introduction, you can have results, discussion, final remarks, references, figures, all of this in one page that they can explore. Now we will take a biomedical engineering example, and we want to learn about brain-computer interface. We want to see papers published by Drexel authors and how we can do that. And again, we want to filter by author affiliation. We want to use both InSpec and Compendex combined, because they are complementary databases. Some may be duplicate and we can remove the duplicates, but both of them are unique. They do have a lot of unique content. InSpec is a British database. So again, I'm using for brain-computer interface, but now I'm using author affiliation field here, and I'm using Drexel. So I want all the papers, all the research papers coming out from Drexel on the topic of brain-computer interface. So here are some examples that we found. And you can see that these are the authors from Drexel University School of Biomedical Engineering. And all these are authors, and we have Hassan Ayaz also listed. So he and his team published this paper as part of a conference papers. What I want to highlight is that not all conference papers are in full available as full text from our university libraries. So if it is a conference paper, sometimes it may not be available through our collection. So you will have to request it through our online version. We have a lot of papers through journals that we have access to, but I'm also providing you the tips on how to access and quickly request those papers. Let's say, for example, I wanted this paper, augmented reality integrated brain-computer interface for smart home control. Again, these are the authors. Uh, uh, Dr. Hassan Ayaz is also the author of this paper with other team members here. So if I click on find it, so it will tell me that yes, author affiliation is Drexel School of Biomedical Engineering. These are abbreviated author affiliations as well. We have someone from Temple University also as part of this project. And where it is coming from, this is from Advances in Neuroergonomics and Cognitive Engineering proceedings of this 2021 virtual conferences on neuroergonomics and cognitive engineering. Uh, and this is published in 2021. Page numbers, all the details are given, the conference details. And it also provides you some related documents that people can access if you are interested. Like, for example, it also tells me that there is a journal article published in IEEE Transaction Neural Systems and Rehabilitation Engineering, Learning Invariant Patterns based on neural network and so on. So one paper can lead you to find more relevant content using journals papers. So this takes you to journal articles now. International Journal of Neural Systems. And I clicked on find it, and it tells me that we do not have access to because it's telling me to request it through interlibrary loan. So using our Drexel Connect credentials, email ID and password, we log on. It takes us to this link where we can submit a request. And if I am logged on directly, this takes me to the conference paper request. I do not even have to fill in anything because automatically the conference names and title of paper are filled in. I don't have to type. That is the best part. And it is a required field. So anything that is required, you must fill in. But sometimes you are interested in learning more about who the author of the paper is, proceedings, conference paper. It's not required, but you can still fill in that information if you like. And remember, I pointed out the details, conference details earlier, from where you can find the author names. You just simply copy and paste. Important thing is they need to have page numbers and conference, and then you submit a request. And as soon as you submit request, our interlibrary loan department and in Iliad will will try their best to get this article for you. And usually they're very quick, and you should be able to get within a couple of days. Usually journal articles doesn't take that long, but sometimes the conference papers may take time. So please have a patience. And if you still have it not received in a few days, just let us know, and we'll try to make sure that we follow through and we have access to this paper. And here is, if you go to Borrow from the Libraries page, you will see the Iliad page, and that is where you can request your books or journal articles. We have a number of good tutorials also created, and those tutorials are available through this particular link. I strongly encourage you to look at these good, excellent tutorials using Dragon Search, which is the search page right on our homepage. And we talked about this Dragon Search in the previous presentations. So I'm not going to go into details of it, but just pointing out these tutorials that you can use. And there are many, if you scroll down, there are many health sciences tutorials, there are many business tutorials, there are engineering tutorials, videos that are available on standards and so on. And so this was my last slide. My contact information here. Please email me. I like to really engage with you all, like to interact with you. My philosophy is that I like to ask questions, you ask me questions, and together we discover the world of information and discover the right source of information. And like to be very informal and engaging with our faculty and students, so that really helps us to understand your needs and how we can best meet your needs in the process. So thank you so much for attending this presentation, and let us open up for some questions. Thank you so much. I'm going to stop sharing now.
Thank you so much, Jay.
Thank
If
you.
people want to enter questions in the chat, I can read them out loud, or feel free to just unmute and ask away.
Thank you so much, Peter, for your encouraging and inspiring comments. Really appreciate it. Oh, Peter has left already. Okay.
There's a question in chat, Jay. I'll read it. Do you know if ASME standards are available for free through Access Engineering?
No, the Access Engineering does not provide access to standards, but they provide understanding of the standards. So how you can see the understanding of what this particular standard is all about and where they can be used. If you want ASME standard, just email me with the request and I'll try to get it for you within a couple of days or maybe a week at the most. We do not have access to all the standards. We have access to ASTM standards, IEEE standards. We can try to get ISO standards. We do have some codes and so on. Thank you, Matthew, for the question. And I have seen, thank you, Michael, actually, I'm sorry, Michael. Thank you so much, Michael.
Michael also asked, will this presentation be available for us? So we're recording. I'm going to post the recording on the library's YouTube channel, and I'll send you a link to that once it's ready. And then I'm sure Jay would also be willing to share his slides if those are helpful, but I'll let him speak to that.
And I also want to point out that we have access to ASME Digital Library. We do have access to some ASME books and a lot of things we can access from ASME collection. John, thank you so much for joining us. Prithvi. Oh, here's a question from Prithvi. Will students have access to videos of lectures of courses not registered by us? Videos of courses. What do you mean by videos of courses, Prithvi? Lecture materials. I think when you will be joining Drexel in fall, right? Fall 22. So when you start taking courses, you will have, each instructor will provide lecture material that will be available to you at that time. And usually they are on they use Blackboard Learn systems, and usually they make it available. But the video that you saw today from us, from the libraries, that will be available online through our library webinar series page. Right, Stacy?
Yep, I'm going to drop a link in chat. So this will take you to our main YouTube channel. And you can see lots of different videos that we posted there over the years. Those are all free to watch. You just have to click play and you can see any of them. If you're interested in reviewing old events we've hosted, or even some of the different training sessions that Jay's hosted, and tutorials and things like that. So there's lots of content there that you might just be interested in looking at, either now or once you start in the fall.
And one thing I also want to point out, Michael, that we had several requests for ASME standards in the past from other students and faculty members, and we were able to get those standards for you. So please don't hesitate to request those standards that you need, and I'll try our best to get that for you as soon as possible.
Great. Well, I'm conscious of time, so unless there are any other questions, I suggest we end here, and you can always email Jay after today with other questions that may come up.
Thank you, Stacy. Thank you all for joining us. I really appreciate it.
Yes, thank you all. We hope to see you at a future libraries event, and I'll share the recording, like I said, later this week.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye. Thank you.